Hey, what's up guys? So the DJI Osmo 362 is official. It launched in China and Hong Kong at around $499, and it fixes a few of the things people have been complaining about since the first one. It shoots 8K at 60 frames now instead of 50. It finally does RAW photos and the lenses are replaceable, so a scratch doesn't kill the camera anymore. But this launch also came with a couple of surprises, which I'll talk about in a minute, so let's get into it. Let's start with video because that's where most of the changes are. And if you've never used a 360 camera, the idea is simple. It films everything around it at the same time, and then later on your phone you decide where to point it. So you're choosing your shot after you've already filmed it. The big change is 8K at 60 frames per second, up from 50. More frames means movement looks smoother, and with a 360 camera you're almost always moving, on a bike, on a helmet, running around with it on a stick. So those extra frames actually show up. The bitrate went up too, from 170 to 220 megabits per second. That's how much detail the camera writes into the file. And it matters more here than on a normal camera, because you never use the whole picture. You film everything, then you crop into a small part of it. So the more detail the camera saved, the better that crop looks. Slow motion jumped too. Panorama mode now does 4K at 240 frames instead of 100. Now, low light, because that's where these cameras have always struggled. These cameras have two small lenses with small sensors behind them, and small sensors don't collect much light, so at night you get grain. DJI's answer is a night mode called AI SuperNight 2.0, and this time it works up to 8K 60. Sometimes that looks great and sometimes it wipes out the detail. So that's the first thing I'd want to see in a real test. Now, photos, and this is the one a lot of you have been asking for since day one. The Osmo 362 shoots RAW, which is the full photo file, before the camera compresses it and makes its own decisions for you. So if the sky comes out blown out, you can pull it back afterwards instead of living with it. There's also a new 120 megapixel HDR photo mode, and DJI is claiming up to 14.5 stops of dynamic range, where the first one was 13.5. Dynamic range is how much detail you keep in the bright and the dark parts of the same shot. But that number needs context, because 14.5 is the best DJI got in its own testing, and D-Log-M, which is the setting you'd use if you color the footage yourself, is still 13.5, same as last year. The hardware changes are smaller, but they're the ones you'd actually notice. Replaceable lenses is the big one. On the first Osmo 360, a deep scratch on those bubble lenses meant sending the camera in for repair. And that's been the biggest problem with these cameras for years. Now you just swap the lens yourself. The battery is about 10% bigger, and it still works with the older Osmo Action batteries. So if you own an Osmo Action, that's one set of batteries for both. Waterproofing hasn't changed, 10 meters on its own or 50 with the case, and there's NFC now, so you just tap your phone on the camera to connect it. But the more interesting question is what DJI didn't change. Before I get into that, I'd really appreciate it if you like the video and subscribe. It really helps. Thank you. So what stayed the same? Basically the core of the camera. Same sensor, same lenses, same 105 gigabytes of storage inside, same 183 grams, and the sensor is the part that actually decides how good the image looks. So if you were hoping for a real jump in image quality this year, this isn't it. And one mode actually went backwards. Single lens mode, so that's when you film with just one side of it, like a normal wide action camera, drops from 5K 60 on the original to 4K 60 here. If that's how you shoot half the time, that's a real step back. That's what the spec sheets show right now. Then there's heat. The first Osmo 360 managed around 112 minutes at 8K 30 without overheating, but at 8K 50 it drops to roughly 30 minutes, and this one pushes more data through the same sensor, so I wouldn't expect that to get better. Out here in Asia, where it's hot most of the year, that's the number I care about. A lot of you have also been asking whether the first Osmo 360 will get RAW photos through a firmware update. DJI hasn't said anything about that, so I wouldn't buy the first one hoping for it. Now let's talk about the price. In China it's 3,299 yuan, so around $490. Hong Kong works out to about 499 or 599 for the adventure combo. There's no international price yet and no date, so subscribe if you want me to update you when it's official. For reference, the new Insta360X6 launched in the US at 699. And if you're in the US, this is where it gets strange. DJI's store over there doesn't even have a page for this camera, but it's actually allowed to be sold in America. The FCC approved it on December the 21st and DJI went on that FCC list one day later, on the 22nd, so it slipped through by a single day. There's no legal reason it can't be in a shop over there. DJI just hasn't put it in one. And the first Osmo 360 is already on sale in the US anyway, and the first one has come down a lot, around $350 to $420. Depending on the combo. I'll leave links in the description. So, should you buy the Osmo 362? Here's how I think about it. If you don't own a 360 camera yet and you can actually buy it where you live, this one is easy. 8K 60, RAW photos, replaceable lenses, and 105 gigabytes built in for around $500 is a lot of camera. And that storage is more useful than it sounds. I've missed shots before just because I didn't have a card with me. If you're already shooting on the first Osmo 360, it's a harder call because the image is coming off the same sensor. So if you shoot a lot of photos or you've already scratched a lens once, that's a real reason to move. If you're mostly posting video to social, I'd keep what you have and put the money into a fast SD card instead. And if you're in the US, your options are the first generation, either as the Osmo 360 on Amazon or as the Extra 360 in stores, or you wait and see if the second one turns up. I'm not sure how warranty works on that route, so check before you commit. Personally, if I was starting from zero today, I'd take the new one just for the replaceable lenses, because that's the part that always worried me about these cameras. Now I'm curious what you think. Are you picking up the Osmo 362 or waiting to see what the price looks like where you live? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.